The NFL is rigged beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I can prove it. Okay, am I coping? Yes. This was the worst game ever. We're starting with Detroit Lions at Philadelphia Eagles in the gigantic battle of mid. This was literally some of the worst quarterback play I've ever had the displeasure of watching. Jared Goff, 14 for 37, 9.5 QBR. This is not a hyperbole. This is the worst game of his entire career. That includes his time with the Rams. Jalen Hurts, 135 yards passing, no touchdowns or interceptions. He did put in a tush push. I have to throw that in there with a 34.2 QBR. Now let's talk about this game. Number one, dude, if a game's on primetime, it's gonna suck. I was so excited for this to be a good game, and it sucked. The only benefit of the doubt that I'll give for the Lions at Eagles was it was very cold and incredibly windy. It was like 25 plus mile per hour winds the entire game. That did not excuse the snooze fest that this game was. Biggest takeaways from this game. Philadelphia Eagles defense is absurdly good. So good. The Jalen Phillips signing or trade was really, really good. That was a great acquisition because he looked great. Saquon Barkley seems to have lost a step. And I'm not just saying that because of the box score. It really doesn't seem like this is the Eagles offense of last year. But it seems like the Eagles defense of last year, if not even somehow a little bit better. This Eagles defense is absolutely disgusting. Offense couldn't do anything really on either team. Our lead receiver was Jahmyr Gibbs off of basically checkdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown had the worst game of his career. Can you believe this stat line? Amon-Ra St. Brown was targeted 12 times for 2 receptions. Now, some of these were Jared Goff throwing a absolute dog shit football. So, can you really say that's his fault? Of course not. But a lot of the rest of them were balls that hit him in the hands that he didn't come in with, which is super weird. All around, this is a very bizarre game. The Detroit Lions were 0 for 5 on 4th down conversions. Can you believe that? 0 for 5? I mean, we weren't catching anybody off guard trying to go for it, and we still couldn't convert. Simple plays we couldn't convert. Run plays we couldn't convert. Simple pass plays. I've never seen us play so poorly in the last 4 years. It was really, really pitiful. The interesting thing, though, is Philadelphia did the same thing. The amount of times that we turned the ball over on the 50 for Philly to just go 3 and out and punt it was kind of crazy. Let's get into the controversial piece of this game. All right, so if you watch this game, everybody knows about this play. It's 3rd and long. There is less than 2 minutes left in the game, and this occurs. And I'm probably going to have to break this up like kind of slow because the NFL is going to copyright me, but this is with Philadelphia has the ball. They're leading by 7. Tell me what you see here. So A.J. Brown's running like a comeback route to the sticks. They got their hands on each other. You know it's bad when Chris Collinsworth says this. Listen to Chris Collinsworth here.
Come on. That is terrible.
So at the end of the game, there's this whack defensive pass interference call on Rock Ya-Sin. There's no timeouts left. It's under 2 minutes. That's an automatic first down, and the game is over. Horrendous play call. And this ref called it too. He had the best view of it. Now, I've seen a lot of comments on this. One thing that's very obvious, and people keep pointing out to me, guys, I know. It wouldn't have mattered. So what? So what if we get the ball back? We're not doing shit with it. This Lions offense was pitiful. This is not a team that can win deep in the playoffs if we play games like that. And why did it occur? I don't know. Did Jared Goff have a horrible off game? Was Dan Campbell calling horrible plays? Is the Philadelphia Eagles defense that good? Was the bad weather just impossible for Jared Goff to play in? It doesn't really matter. Because playing like that, like what do we have to have perfect conditions every time we play to win a football game? In terms of do we win the game because of this? No. But I do have a huge, huge issue with the fact that a referee can make a horrible play call like this, and the game just ends. I think this guy made a really good point. It's an easy no call. Legitimately more evidence of offensive pass interference than defensive pass interference. You can notice right here, A.J. Brown and Rock Ya-Sin are kind of like arm locked, and A.J. Brown kind of pushes off right there. He steps his arm in and he extends his arm. Like, Technically, if you're really whistle happy, you can call it offensive pass interference, but no, you don't call anything because that happens every single play. A.J. Brown clearly shoves off to fade away and create space, but I think the best course of action here is to swallow your whistle, keep the flag in your pants, and let the game play out. Ball wasn't catchable either. I think that's pretty clear, right? Pretty much everybody was talking about this. The refs just ended a Sunday night football game with one of the worst PI calls you'll ever see. It really was a horrible call. It was an objectively horrible call. If anything, it is kind of OPI right here. Yeah, they're just playing the ball. Pushes off.
Oh, come.
Now, fun fact, back in 2019, you used to be able to challenge defensive or offensive pass interference calls against your team. So you're asking yourself what happened to it after 1 year of attempting this challenge the pass interference call. If you're wondering what happened to that, after 1 year, the NFL called it an experiment. Notably, they called it a failed experiment. Here's an article in 2020 after they stopped allowing the challenging of pass interference. I hope that sentence made sense. The NFL's half-baked idea to review pass interference is dead. The rule failed so miserably, in the words of League Executive Vice President Troy Vincent, that it won't so much as appear on the agenda for an owners' conference call Thursday to vote on rule proposals. I think it's funny to note that this article is back in 2020, but take a look at this. At the end of the day, John Perry, ESPN officiating analyst, said that the NFL does not have a safety net to fix a game-changing, egregious miss heading into the 2020 season. That can't be in today's world. Fast forward 5 years later, it is very much still in today's world. I think, interestingly, the NBA does a super good job of the coach's challenge, and I would love to see the NFL implement this. Now, this is the rules in the NBA. A team may utilize a coach's challenge to trigger instant replay review of only the following 3 events: a called personal foul charged to its own team, a called out-of-bounds violation where its own team was not awarded possession, or a called goaltending or basket interference violation. This is provided that it is in the last 2 minutes of the 4th period and the last 2 minutes of any overtime. So it's not like coaches can just be going crazy, slowing down the pace of the game, challenging 24/7. But in those final 2 minutes, if a ref makes a crucial mistake, a coach can challenge it. Now, to me, this makes total sense. If we go back and look at this A.J. Brown play right here, 99.9% of people, outside of mouth-breathing Philadelphia fans, will agree that this was a horrible call. Now, was this a horrible call because Vegas called in the fix? Was this a horrible call because the referee just made a horrible call and he made a mistake like any human can? It doesn't really matter. I believe that the NFL should have an under 5 minutes coach's challenge to challenge game-changing, egregious penalties such as this one that any reasonable person could disagree with. Right here, Dan Campbell throws a challenge flag. The refs huddle up together and watch this on instant replay. They all look at each other and go, wow, that was a horrible call. We're certainly picking that one up. And then the game resumes. And then Philadelphia punts the ball to the Lions. Jared Goff throws 3 footballs in the dirt, and Philly wins anyway. And then it was actually a football game that we watched, and it wasn't just the ref deciding that it was time for everybody to fucking go home, I guess. I mean, what was that? I think a lot of people will say, like, this is the league's back door to fixing games. Like, this is why the NFL is rigged. I don't know if that is true or not, and I don't really care. I just hate when an entire game ends off of a referee's horrible call. And Eagles fans, you guys know this better than anybody. I mean, how many of us remember this play call? This play call ended a Super Bowl. This was Juju Smith-Schuster getting, I mean, technically, yeah, I guess that is defensive pass interference. Technically, everything is defensive pass interference. Technically, everything is offsides. Technically, everything is holding. Technically, everything's a false start. Like, if you slow down anything, it's bad, right? But I remember watching the Super Bowl and thinking, why on earth is a referee making that play call in this moment? What a horrible call. And wouldn't it have been nice if you could just throw a challenge flag and say, look, it's the final 5 minutes of a crucial game. We're not going to let one fucking referee decide, just end this game for us. All right, I spent more than enough time on that. I'm done yapping. The Lions looked like shit. I am really hoping that we can figure something out. It's the defending Super Bowl champions, and they're really good, but yikes, that game scared the shit out of me. I don't know what we're going to do in the playoffs. We're going to be playing like that. Let's keep going. Seahawks Rams. That was such a good game. Super anticipated game. I was so excited to watch Seahawks Rams. Craziest takeaway from this game, Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions, and they could have won on a game-winning field goal. How on earth does Sam Darnold throw 4 interceptions and they still have a chance to beat the Los Angeles Rams, which is one of the best teams in the National Football League? Well, Seattle Seahawks defense is incredible. Truly, truly incredible. Seahawks defense is so good. The Rams are so good, too. Matthew Stafford and the Rams didn't particularly play well at all this game, but it didn't matter because Sam Darnold played so bad. Now listen, if you're a Seahawks fan, there's no way you can turn on Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has played so well all season. They played amazing this season. It was an off game, and you hope you can move on past it, and I need to remember that as I just watched my Detroit Lions and Jared Goff play like utter shit this week too. Rams got the win because the Rams are a very good team. I think moving forward, the Rams might be a Super Bowl favorite right now. I think the Rams kind of have to be in just about anybody's top 3 power rankings for NFL teams. If they're not 1, they're 2. So I'm actually going to put them in the top 2. The Rams are stupid good right now. The funny thing that I was thinking about after watching the Lions game too is I kind of wanted to revisit the Matthew Stafford Detroit Lions trade. And here's what it turned into. So it was Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff. The Lions also got a 3rd round and 2 first-round picks. We took one of those first-round picks and traded down in the draft where we got Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. So basically, it was Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, without Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams, we are not the excellent team that we are today. But without Matthew Stafford, and instead Jared Goff, it feels like we can't win the super important big games. So it's like, shit. And you know what? The Rams ended up getting a Super Bowl out of this, and they are still a super competitive, really good team. So Los Angeles knew exactly what they were doing in that trade. It worked out for both of us, but they're currently winning it, I think is fair to say. All in all, though, this was a really good game, and even when Sam Darnold throws 4 interceptions, Jackson Smith-Njigba still has 100 receiving yards. I'll definitely check the odds on all the NFL awards, but I want to talk about more of these games. Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos. This is probably the biggest shock of the week for me. I have been very doubtful of the Denver Broncos. I did not believe that they even had a chance of winning this game. I thought they were a fraudulent high-win team, and I just got to take it all back. You beat the Kansas City Chiefs, man. The Kansas City Chiefs, even though they're 5-5, they're still a gold standard team to me. They're still a team that's like, if you can beat that team, you're a very good team. 9-2 Denver Broncos holding the best record in the National Football League. Wow. And dude, they had some seriously good plays down the stretch, and the game-winning drive out of the Broncos was genuinely very impressive. Don't you just have this feeling when it's a close game and Patrick Mahomes is involved? It's like, okay, well, the Chiefs are just going to win it. Like, that's how it always feels. But then Sean Payton kind of coached a super good game. Sean Payton's always freaked me out a little bit as a head coach, especially at the Denver Broncos. But he played really well, and Bo Nix played really well. Let's not forget that when the Denver Broncos drafted Bo Nix, and Sean Payton drafted Bo Nix, really, everybody clowned on them. Everybody clowned on them. Remember when everyone said, like, all the other owners were messing with Sean Payton and, like, telling him that Bo Nix was good so that he would be an idiot and take Bo Nix? I vividly remember that. And now Bo Nix is playing out of his mind and winning super close games against excellent NFL dynasties and leading the Denver Broncos to the best record in the NFL. Let's not take away from the fact that the Denver Broncos have the best defense in the NFL. They have one of the best defenses in NFL history right now. Statistically, they are on pace to be one of the best defenses ever. So yeah, that certainly plays a factor in this. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Bo Nix did anything and everything. But the final play that put them in field goal range was an absolute money ball out of Bo Nix. And it's not this one right here. That was also Cortland Sutton. Why the hell are you going backwards? I couldn't believe this. He still just barely got it. But dude had like a quarter yard to gain, and he was doing a back step. I couldn't believe it. It was almost a very, very scary moment right there. Yeah, this right here. Cortland, brother, you're already on the marker. Spooky, bro. Made a nice play. He made a nice play, though. This was the play where I was like, dude, Bo Nix, you actually have gigantic balls. Like, legitimately gigantic balls. He throws... Oh, it's so money, bro. It's so money. He threw inside on the court. Oh, it was so good. It was such a good throw. Now the game's over. There's no clock helping that can save you. This is a
set up now to win the game.
Troy Franklin played really well, too. Bo fourth quarter Knicks, baby. Best team in the league without a doubt. I guess we'll see. I still think it's anybody's playoff run, but we'll see. Yeah, that was an awesome game. If you're a fantasy manager, though, Travis Kelce had a super, super good game. 9 receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown. And you know what? I'm still not even worried about the Chiefs. Yeah, they're 5-5. I still think they're going to the playoffs. All that it matters is that they get a playoff spot. That is the only thing that matters if you're a Kansas City fan. The regular season record is a myth for Kansas City. It just is. This team has won at the highest levels so many times that I don't care about this at all. Now, if they miss the playoffs because they don't win enough games, obviously it matters, but there's 7 games left, and I have a feeling that they're making the playoffs. San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals. Guess who's back, baby? Brock Purdy is back. It's still Jacoby Brissett season in Arizona. Jacoby Brissett, NFL record completions. What a hilarious NFL record, by the way, to complete 47 passes when you got completely dicked on. This is one of those NFL records where it's like the only way to get this NFL record is to throw 100 checkdowns in a game that you're 100% losing. Like, how else do you complete 47 passes on damn near 60 attempts? It's when it doesn't matter. So it's funny that Jacoby Brissett has an NFL record, though. We can say that. This Cardinals team is ass. You have no Kyler Murray. You don't have your starting running back or your backup. No, actually, I guess they do. I mean, these stat lines are pitiful. Michael Wilson had 15 receptions for 185 yards. Did anybody in their right mind start Michael Wilson? By the way, I'm sure a lot of you started Trey McBride, 10 for 115 and 1. But that's gross. Michael Wilson, 15 receptions, 185 yards. I need to know the percentage of fantasy managers that started Michael Wilson. Yeah, San Fran obviously looks really, really good. Brock Purdy, people were saying, myself included, like, oh, does Mac Jones become the starter? Honestly, San Fran just has such a good game plan. They're cursed. Despite being 7-4, which is a pretty incredible record, it's incredible what they've done without, like, half their team. I can't see San Fran having a deep playoff push without, like, any of their starters. They'll probably make the playoffs. It doesn't really matter. That's my opinion on the San Francisco 49ers. Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns. Every single time you watch a Browns game, you go, how on earth is this game close? How on earth can Cleveland do this with nothing on offense? Absolutely pitiful nothing. This is such a good defense. Bro, if you have even a remotely competent offensive coordinator, anything, this is so different. Shedeur Sanders makes his debut. I wish I could find the guy on Twitter who tweeted me and was like, yo, hot take. The Browns would be 8-2 right now if Shedeur was the starter of the whole season. Brother, I hate to break it to you, but Shedeur Sanders just went 4 for 16 for 47 yards and an interception. And frankly, it's not Shedeur's fault. I'm pretty sure you could put prime Tom Brady on this team, and he would struggle because they're ass. That whole offensive scheme is trash. Shedeur Sanders could not have been set up for failure more. What is the game plan in Cleveland? You had Joe Flacco, your veteran quarterback. You drafted 2 super late round quarterbacks that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted Dylan Gabriel. Every single team passed up on Dylan Gabriel 3 straight times. And then you draft him. And then after everybody passes up Shedeur Sanders 4 straight times, then you draft Shedeur Sanders, and then you trade Joe Flacco to a division rival. You trade Joe Flacco to a division rival. And now your game plan is to start the 2 guys who last year were playing college football, not at a particularly high level, not highly recruited first or second round quarterbacks out of college football. What on earth is the game plan here? And guess what? You still actually played a really good game against the Baltimore Ravens because your defense is that good. Genuinely infuriating how incompetent the Cleveland Browns are. Ravens didn't even play that well. It's just like you don't even have to do that much because Cleveland's never going to hurt you on offense, especially when Dylan Gabriel gets hurt. I think if Dylan Gabriel didn't get hurt, I mean, they may literally have won this game, which is kind of crazy, but Baltimore looks like they're on pace to actually go to the playoffs. So I can definitely, I think Baltimore and Kansas City both 5-5. I still think both of them make the playoffs. We're going to see here. Tampa Bay, Buffalo. This was an insanely good game until right at the end, Buffalo pulled away. I think my biggest takeaway from this, number one, Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns. Hello. 3 touchdowns on offense. Sorry, 3 touchdowns passing and 3 legitimate touchdowns on offense, which were his 3 rushing touchdowns. 6 touchdown game is crazy. 45-point fantasy game for my GOAT Josh Allen on my fantasy team. That's my dog. Baker Mayfield cooled off real bad. First 5-6 games of the season, bro. Baker Mayfield, MVP frontrunner. Baker's back. He's cooking, etc. Really cooled off. Kind of feels like the entire Buccaneers roster has cooled off just a little bit. Sean Tucker had a huge game. Don't forget about Sean Tucker. They got Cucky Irving and Sean Tucker. Cucky Irving is out. So, you know, did Sean Tucker, Clemson, right? He played for an orange team in college, and he was insanely good on them. Regardless, he did have a really big game. Emeka Egbuka cooling off big time too. I'm excited to see how these odds have shifted because I know they've shifted like crazy. This is what we love to see. This, you know what's crazy? This is never the primetime game. An absolute heater game like this, if this was on primetime, this game would have been 10-7. And we'd all just be moaning and crying. Awesome game. Buccaneers cooling off big time. Bengals Steelers. This was also a close game for a while until the Steelers completely pulled away in that second half. In the first half, I was like, wait, maybe we got an Unk Bowl going on here. Mason Rudolph came in to finish things off. Joe Flacco did not do what he did last time. And then Jamar Chase spit on Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey punches him in the face. Jalen Ramsey gets ejected. Jamar Chase gets interviewed. And they're like, hey, Jalen Ramsey says you spit on him. And he's like, I never did that. I didn't spit on nobody. I mean, technically, this is a double negative. So he's saying he did spit on someone. So maybe he was telling the truth the entire time. The unfortunate part about the day and age of media is you get fact-checked right on the spot with 4K video evidence. Jamar Chase says he didn't spit on anybody, and he doesn't know what Jalen Ramsey's talking about. Literally spit directly on him. Now, it is technically possible that if you're yelling at somebody, you accidentally spit on them. That's not what this looks like at all. Jalen Ramsey, completely certified valid crash out. You pretty much got to punch him in the face at that point. Doesn't matter if he's got a helmet on. That's disgusting. And it's kind of funny, too, because Jalen Ramsey gets ejected, but Jamar Chase is almost inevitably going to get fined. So, I don't know. I think at that point, you got to get ejected. And the Steelers got the last laugh because they won 34-12. Interesting game. Chargers, Jaguars. This is probably the biggest shocker game for me this week. I had the Chargers winning this game. They played horrible. Justin Herbert got injured, semi-injured. Trey Lance came in. I don't think it's a bad injury. He was pulled late in an abysmal outing. He was initially pulled because he had a concussion scare or something like that. Dude, this team got shit on. Are the Jaguars good, or did the Chargers just play horribly in this game? I will say I do like the acquisition of Jacoby Myers. So the Jaguars traded, I think, a 4th or a 6th rounder for Jacoby Myers. They didn't trade a lot. And Jacoby Myers looking really good. This is because Travis Hunter was out too. So there's another one of your wide receivers. Brian Thomas Jr. is out. There's another one of your wide receivers. It was a good pickup. And I've always liked Jacoby Myers. So like to see that. Travis Etienne had a really good game too. Did he have 3 touchdowns? Or 2 touchdowns? Yeah, 2. Bashal Tutin got some serious carries and got a touchdown as well. I mean, they just killed him. Both of these teams are on pace to go to the playoffs too. I saw a funny stat. It was, remember when the Chargers were beating the Jaguars 27-0 in the playoffs, and then the Jaguars came back to win that game? It was since that moment, the Jaguars have outscored the Chargers 66-9 or something like that. It's like, dude, it's like a flip switched, and the Jaguars realize they just own the Chargers, and then they go see them again, and they just do that. They just dominate them. I don't know, dude. That probably has nothing to do with it. But, guys, are the Green Bay Packers frauds? Why are the Green Bay Packers struggling? Why are the Green Bay Packers having all these... Listen, they won, yes. What is the deal? Jordan Love does not look as good as he's supposed to. You damn near just lost to the Jameis Winston New York Giants. The no Scattaboo, no Neighbors, no Jackson Dart New York Giants. What is going on? Isaiah Hodgins led the team in receiving yards. Are we okay? Actually making me mad. The entire NFC North is making me mad. The only team that has lived up to my expectations in the NFC North is the Chicago Bears. Never forget that I highly ranked the Chicago Bears. I never stopped believing in Caleb Williams, and for once in my life, I was right. I also never stopped believing in Tua. So I'm not saying I'm always right. Dude, this game was a banger. Falcons-Panthers was a sick game. Bryce Young looks so good. This looks like prime Alabama Bryce Young. 450 yards and 3 touchdowns? You shitting me? They didn't even need Rico Dowdle to do the Rico Dowdle shit. Rico Dowdle had like back-to-back games of 200 yards. Now he's just your average everyday running back, but it doesn't matter because Bryce Young stepped up. T-Mac looked insane. 8 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. I wanted him in my Dynasty League so bad I didn't get him. Sheesh. Xavier Legette looked good. Tommy Tremble had to kind of sealed the game. Tommy Tremble's 1 catch sealed the game in overtime, brought them in field goal range, and they won it. Kirk Cousins came in, by the way, fun fact. Bijan Robinson's still my fantasy GOAT. Falcons are ass. That's pretty much this game. Dude, Bryce Young, 6-5. Better record than the Ravens. Better record than the Kansas City Chiefs. Winning record for the Panthers. Do the Panthers have a snowball's chance in hell in the playoffs? Absolutely not. Don't even get me started, and I'm not going there with you. Because they don't. But it's been really impressive. And I think the next couple of years are going to get a lot better for Carolina. Bryce Young's getting his confidence. That is your franchise quarterback. Chicago, Minnesota, ugly game-winning field goal to end it. But they get the W, though. I think the big takeaway from this game is J.J. McCarthy has struggled. J.J. McCarthy's young. He hasn't played that much at quarterback. You got to give your young quarterback time. Bryce Young looked horrible in his first season, and I'm sitting here glazing Bryce Young. So it is what it is. J.J. McCarthy did not look good at all. And that's a huge part of the reason that the Minnesota Vikings lost this. They almost did the same thing they did the Bears last time, though. Remember last time the Vikings and the Bears played? The Bears had this huge lead, and then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, the Vikings somehow miraculously won. They almost did it again, but luckily, Cairo Santos ended that game off. And so they give the game ball to Cairo Santos, and he does this shit, bro. Hey! Hey! Yo, the skull gritty. The skull gritty out of Unk. Dude, Unk literally has silver hairs. He's literally a gray fox. Hey! Ben Johnson is a great coach. I do miss Ben Johnson. I miss Ben Johnson a lot, especially after that game, bro. I miss Ben Johnson. Texans, Titans. God, there were a lot of battles of mid. This was certainly one of them. It's like the Titans are intentionally... It's like the Titans are trying to lose games. Houston's trying to, but Tennessee tries a lot harder to lose. Davis Mills has looked solid, I guess. I mean, there's not much to say about this game other than Cam Ward once again had a big turnover. He is the most turnover-prone quarterback in the National Football League right now. Cam Ward is. And this was round 1, pick 1. 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Doesn't even count as fumbles. Jeez, man. You also lost Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley's out for the season with a fibula injury, which is never good. Tennessee Titans are the least watchable team in football right now. I'd probably watch a Jets game before I watch a Titans game, which is painful to say out loud, but I actually definitely would. Washington Commanders, Miami Dolphins. Guys, is Mike McDaniels not going to get fired? He's kind of on a tear right now. They beat the Buffalo Bills. Now, that was crazy. Okay, you beat the Marcus Mariota Washington Commanders. Maybe that's not so crazy, but you win the game in overtime. Tua doesn't turn the ball over. Devon Achane has 120 rushing yards. Let's not forget, dude, I think Miami has one of my favorite running back duos outside of the Detroit Lions. Devon Achane and Ollie Gordon is a crazy running back duo. It actually is. They have no Tyreek Hill, and they win a game in overtime. Mike McDaniels is fighting hard for his job. He knows that he was probably about to get canned, / already is canned at the end of the season, and he's trying desperately to claw this back. There's 6 games left for the Miami Dolphins. Can you imagine a universe where they keep winning like this? It's always fun to see. I swear, every single year, one team with a record like this does turn it around in the latter half. Who's it going to be? Who's our most likely team to turn things around and actually make it winnable? Let's not forget Thursday Night Football, 27-14. Guess who, baby? Guess who? Guess who? Travion Henderson. I started him. He finally is popping. I've been waiting for my GOAT, Travion Henderson, to have a good game. And guess what? He had a monster game, a 3-touchdown game. 60 yards, 2 on the ground. He had 5 catches for 31 and a touchdown. He was amazing in fantasy. Diggs has been amazing in fantasy. Drake May should still be... No, Drake May is probably not the MVP frontrunner because Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns. And the Jets are horrible. Justin Fields can't throw for over 100. He barely threw over 100 yards, and that was only because of garbage time. He had like 40 yards in garbage time. He was rocking 70. You will never in this league win games with this style of offense. You will never legitimately win games where you don't trust your quarterback, your $55 million quarterback. I know it's 3 years, $55 million, but still, to not throw the football. Listen, I know Justin Fields is very, very good scrambler. So is Lamar Jackson. Guess what? Lamar Jackson throws the football. I don't know what Aaron Glenn is thinking. This is never going to work. I think overall the Jets are a horribly mismanaged franchise, and there's a million issues top to bottom. But it's kind of like they're just openly okay with losing. That's what it feels like. 100 yards passing. What are we doing? I mean, I guess they kind of are openly okay with losing. This is a tank season. They traded away all their best players. It makes sense. Okay, I do want to look at the NFL futures odds. Wow, take a look at this. I did not expect this. So regular season MVP, number 1 frontrunner is Matthew Stafford. Right behind him is Drake May. They're super close. And Josh Allen, despite the 6-touchdown game, is third. It could just be MVP fatigue. People talk about that all the time. It's hard to win the MVP 2 years in a row. But also, I do think Matthew Stafford and Drake May have a better chance right now because their team has a better record, and they are playing out of their minds. I think right now, if I had to give it out, I would give it to Stafford. I'd probably give it to Stafford before I gave it to Drake May if I was giving it out right now. But there is so much football left to be played. It would be awesome to see Jonathan Taylor get it. That shit ain't going to happen. Get it out of your mind. Offensive Player of the Year. Jonathan Taylor has clearly taken a huge lead here. Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's so tough as a wide receiver because you're reliant on your quarterback, but it's so tough as a running back because you're reliant on your team either to be winning or a great offensive line. Offensive Player of the Year is probably my favorite award. I think this is basically what the MVP is. I think the MVP is a glorified who's the best quarterback award, and the Offensive Player of the Year is like, who defied the odds? Jackson Smith and Jigba. Sam Darnold just threw 4 interceptions. How does he control that? He really can't, but he still goes for 100 receiving yards. Jonathan Taylor, if the Colts are losing, they can't run the ball, how can he control that? He can't, but he still is putting up absolutely ridiculous numbers. I want Jonathan Taylor to win it, if I'm being honest. I like when it's a running back, but Jackson Smith and Jigba, his bad game is 100 yards and 9 catches. Nobody else really has a chance. At the start of the year, it was looking like it's going to be Puka Nacua, but he's cooked. It's over for him. He missed too many games. Defensive Player of the Year right now is Myles Garrett in the lead with Micah Parsons and Nick Bonito behind. Nick Bonito is so slept on. They don't give a shit about Nick Bonito, bro. They're like, Nick Bonito, that's a lame name. We don't want to promote that. Screw Nick Bonito. Even though I feel like if Nick Bonito was named Myles Garrett, he'd be way higher up on this. Does that make sense to anybody? Emeka Egbuka is in a relatively close race with Jackson Dart for Offensive Rookie of the Year, although Emeka Egbuka has the lead. Tedderell McMillan has whiffed the top 3 for the first time this season. Defensive Rookie of the Year looks like it's clearly going to Carson Schwessinger. Middle linebacker out of UCLA playing for the Cleveland Browns. No one else is particularly close. Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel, Shane Steichen, Mike McDonald. I'm giving it to Mike Vrabel. If it ends right now, I'm 100% giving it to Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, Drake May, and a Patriots roster that I don't believe is particularly talented are 8-2. That's pretty damn impressive. Sorry, they're 9-2. They're even better than 8-2. They're 9-2. I mean, truly, this Patriots roster is not very talented. So the Patriots defense is like a hodgepodge of players that they just scrounged together. The offense is a bunch of players that are either super young, like Travion Henderson, or like relatively at the latter end of their career. Is anyone going to tell me Diggs is in his prime? I ain't going to say that shit. Matt Collins is a depth guy for most teams. Hunter Henry's old. It's crazy what Mike Vrabel's done with this Patriots roster. I think the difference between the two 9-2 teams, like the Patriots are 9-2 and the Broncos are 9-2, but the Broncos have like this ultra talented defense. And the Patriots are doing that, but with way less. I was watching a Patriots game and they were talking about how 6 of the starters on defense were players that were previously cut. Isn't that crazy? Like, on the team they used to play for, they were cut. The Patriots picked them up and made them a starter on a 9-2 team. That's crazy. All right, let's go through some of the big highlights here. I think my favorite player of the week, Darnell Washington. Darnell Washington is literally a left tackle. By the way,
270
he's
going through the air.
He's literally a left tackle. And he's just hurdling people. Going out there, going absolutely bonkers. And then he did this shit. And then he catches a pass and goes Derrick Henry mode.
There's a stiff arm.
What an insane
There's a Derrick Henry for you. And then
Darnell Washington.
Geno Stone, you don't want any of that.
Does he run a crispy route? Does he get separation? No. Absolutely not. No. Nobody's asking him to. You're asking him to do this shit.
Turner, you can try.
Oh my God. Does he know these guys have families? Gronk caliber tight end that isn't utilized the way he should be? I disagree. I just simply disagree. The way he plays is similar, but Gronk moves so much better than this guy. So much better. I do wish the Steelers utilized him more, though. He is a hilarious player to watch, and he is very good. Anything Jameis Winston does.
Snap to Winston to push the pile and get the first down. All the way down inside the 20.
Sometimes you just push it and then you tush it. You know?
That lights up some.
That's the tush push they want to ban right there. The 10-yard Jameis Winston QB sneak. That's what they want to get rid of. This is the cuck push. Everyone loves the cuck push where Aaron Rodgers so clearly is not getting the football, doesn't give a shit, and just stands there. The funny thing to me about this play, why don't they just take Rodgers? If everybody already knows what they're doing and Rodgers is going to give away the fact that he's not doing anything, why don't they just sub someone else in to help the tush push? And that's what the Eagles do more or less. I mean, because they have Jalen Hurts actually doing it.
Cook in the back.
Josh Allen of the season.
Another one.
I mean, I get it. You're trying to not get a safety, which is smart.
Allen gets out of there. He floats it. Ill-advised.
What on earth was that? Now, here's a really interesting part of the game that I want to talk about. 16-16. Like I said, dude, the Ravens almost could have lost this game. Ravens line up in very obvious tush-push formation, right? But that's Mark Andrews under center. Mark Andrews takes the snap. Apologies, I have to buzz this like crazy. He's gonna get copyrighted. He takes the snap and does basically like a reverse bootleg with Patrick Ricard lead blocking. Everybody's looking forward in the middle. Browns actually they kind of come up to get this pretty well, but they're still lost in the sauce. Really good blocking from the Ravens, and Mark Andrews takes this to the end zone for a touchdown. Now, here's my question about this play. Everybody's talking about banning the tush push. When they voted last year, they got 22 votes to ban the tush push. They needed 24. It seems very likely that this upcoming year, they are going to ban the tush push. That's my opinion. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Now, if they ban the tush push, what exactly are you banning? Are you banning a QB sneak where you push your quarterback from behind? If that's the case, then it's a pretty simple ban. You're not allowed to push your quarterback forward on a QB sneak. If you're going to run a QB sneak, the quarterback's momentum has to come from the quarterback themselves. But what a lot of people are talking about is that the NFL referees cannot properly officiate the tush-push formation. Okay, that's interesting. That would then mean that this play is illegal, no? I always think about that. We're banning the tush-push, it seems, because everyone doesn't want Philadelphia to run it. That would be the reason that it's going to get banned. It's boring to watch. It's stupid. They're guaranteed a yard. It's not football. Say whatever you want about it. But if you ban the tush push, is this banned? Because you take away from Philly, you got to take away from everybody. Are you not allowed to run a naked bootleg? Because then, if you ban the tush push, you can't block your quarterback from behind. This would be legal. One thing I will say, if they end up banning the tush push and it takes away really cool plays like a Mark Andrews reverse naked bootleg out of QB sneak formation, that's a tragedy. That's a true tragedy because this was an awesome play. And if we're going to take it away from Philly, then we got to take it away from everybody. That would be no fun. And I think we've got a great place to stop right here. Here is the current playoff picture. And yes, that is the Detroit Lions out of the current playoff picture. I know. Denver's the 1 seed in the AFC. Philly's the 1 seed in the NFC. You'd have Seattle, Tampa Bay. I'd love to watch Seattle, Tampa Bay. Obviously, this is if this season ended right now. Buffalo, Pittsburgh. I think that's a horrible matchup for Pittsburgh. I think they would get dog walked by the Buffalo Bills. Chargers, Colts. Chargers would get dog walked. We've already seen what the Colts did to the Chargers defense last time. This would suck for the Chargers. Jacksonville, New England. I think that would actually, out of these games, I think that would probably be the best series. San Fran Rams, I mean, it's a big rivalry, but that San Fran team just simply cannot compete with that Rams team. Packers, Bears would be fucking awesome. This would be such a sick watch. I wish the season ended right. No, I don't, because I need the Lions to be in it. So no, I don't wish the season ended right now. Here's the good thing, though, about my Lions. I've talked about this a ton of times, but our middle of the season schedule is an absolute gauntlet, and it proved to be a gauntlet. That's where a lot of our losses came from. But as we get moving forward here, we take on the Giants. That ought to be a freebie. We take on the Cowboys. I'm hoping that's a freebie. Packers, Rams will be tough. And then we finish the season with Steelers, Vikings, and Bears. There is a chance we don't make the playoffs. There's always a chance, but I strongly believe we will make the playoffs. And the thing is, though, we're not going to be a high seed. So we might end up taking on a team like the Rams in the first round, which I really don't want to do. Oh, not again. Hey, last time we took on the Rams in the first round, though, we beat them. So maybe we just got to do it again. All right, boys. NFL Week 11. Can we fix the refs, please? Can we hold these frauds accountable for making dog shit calls, please? All right, boys. I love you. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.